Hey everybody, I wanted to make this video on how a realtor does compared to Chat GPT. I'm really curious and to see the results. I haven't done this yet, so it's going to be a surprise to both of us. And let's just get right to it. I'm going to open up my screen with Chat GPT, switch to this screen. Okay, so now you can see Chat GPT, and I'm going to first try to figure out, let me write the question down. So I am looking to buy a home in Los Angeles. What should I do first? So before I hit enter, my suggestion for anybody looking to buy a home is going to be first talk to a realtor or talk to a lender. Uh, One that they find that they know or someone that they trust. Hopefully that's me. I would love to learn your business, but whoever that is, someone that understands the market, understands the local area, has access to the local MLS, and could help you throughout the buying process. The important part of talking to one of those two is if you talk to a realtor, then he's going to be able to give you the services and give you information of lenders he's previously worked with that are performing well currently in the market. And that way they could find out how much you could afford, and you would know your monthly payments. You don't have to worry about all these other, things that you find online on how much I could afford, because there's other things besides these calculators and how much you're making per month, depending on your credit score, depending on your debt to income ratio, depending on what type of home you're looking to buy. So there's a lot of factors. Then after that, I would recommend, once you know your numbers, once you have an idea of uh, what you're looking to buy after consulting with the realtor, you break it down to the what type of home, what location, what is important to you in the home, like if you don't need a sunset view or if you're looking for something that's in an open street, something that's in a cul-de-sac, whatever it is, right? You have this all written down. That way you narrow down what you're looking for. And then after that, you go over the contract. After going over the contract, you start making offers. Once you start looking at homes, so this is the time you start looking at homes, and then um, throughout the process, the realtor or whoever usually it's going to be the realtor is going to go over the contract with you throughout the transaction, and then the lender will be going over with you the part of the finances. And then after that, once everything's completed, you close. You have to do your inspections, and after inspections, then you close. So that's short summary of what I believe. Now let's take a look at what ChatGPT says. So buying a home in Los Angeles is a complex process. Yes, it is. But here are some steps you can take. So assess your financial situation. Yes, you should assess your financial situation. um, I suggest having a lender help you with that process to for income. And remember, when you work with a lender, where you work with a realtor, they don't get paid until a deal closes. So all this work is something you can get for free. And not only can you get it for free, but these are knowledgeable professionals that are trying to help you in the process. And what I find with good realtors or good lenders is that the good ones, they won't. That's not their point. Is not to make money; is to help you in the transaction. Okay, determine the needs and preferences. Think about what you want in the home. Consider such factors: size, location, style of the home. Yeah, so that's a good one. Determine needs and preferences. I would even recommend to talk to it with an advisor like a realtor, right? Research Los Angeles housing market, look at current housing market trends. That's what a realtor could help you do. I mean, you could do it yourself as well, but realtors have tools that they pay for that do a really good job in helping to find the trends and situations in the house market. That's what they spend their time doing while you're doing your work or doing something else. So you just tell them like, hey, look, I want to buy in this area. What does this area look like, right? something that you don't have to spend all your time and stress and effort doing. Okay, hire a real estate agent. So I would have put that above. Um, they can show you homes, meet criteria, and help you make an offer. Yes, they can help you make an offer. They're not making an offer for you. They'll put all the contracts together. But whenever you read the contract, it's essentially you and the seller, and the agents are there to facilitate it, help facilitate it. Tour the homes. Yeah, on a team person, this can help you feel for you, make an offer. Agent can negotiate best interest rate, best interest, complete the purchase. Yeah, I mean, this is all good information. One step that they're probably missed that I would say they're missing is inspections. To talk about the inspections because that's very important. Once you make the offer, you got to take a look and verify the home is in the condition that you assumed there was. Because when a lot of times when people go into homes, they see it looks beautiful, and then they try to turn on. Once they do the inspections, they find out there's $100,000 worth of defects on the home that they were not expecting, and that's when negotiations come in. So there's a lot more to it, but yes, this is good information. So I say Chat GPT in this round did a very good. I do not agree on the order they put things in, but it's really good information to know generic, in generic terms. So uh, I can't necessarily say I recommend or agree 100% on what they said, but sure, they have some good information in here. So now let's look at the next thing, which will be, what if I'm looking to sell a home? Looking to sell a home in Los Angeles. What should I do? So before I hit enter, I would say, to consult with multiple realtors, find out which one is going to help you depending on what your situation is. Everybody has a different reason of why they're selling, and everybody has a different situation on how quick they need to sell, when they need to sell, how much time they need to prep the home for the condition that they want to sell it in, because the condition that they sell it in is going to vary on the price they need to sell. So all these things are important to consider, including if your home is in a trust, if your home, there's taxes once you sell the home, and there's ways to either defer them for the taxes, or there's a lot of things to consider when selling a home. Um, so what you should do is really going to depend on your situation. But I would say the first thing to do is talk to a realtor. Um, and if you're going to be buying a second home, or you're going to be replacing this home, then talk as well to a lender. That way they could start running numbers and have a good idea. Now let's see what ChatGPT says. I was thinking hard. Your stuff's gonna say determine your home's value. Yeah, determine your home's value. Talking to a realtor. I do not suggest looking at Zillow or Realtor.com. Those are not accurate. Okay, prepare your home for sale. Yeah, you got to prepare your home for sale. Sure. Decluttering, absolutely. Um, hiring a real estate agent. I would say hire a real estate agent again, above these two, just because they're there to help you with these questions. Unless I guess you're using Chat GPT and you trust Chat GPT. But from what I'm finding is there's a lot of missing information in here on, this is just very general information. It doesn't fit everybody situation. List your home. Once you're ready for sale, you found a real estate agent. It's time to list. Your agent will create a listing, showcases best features, and promotes potential buyers. Yeah. Show your home. A potential buyer express interest in your home, schedule showing. So it's going more into the steps by steps. Make sure that your home clean and presentable for each showing. That's very good. Negotiate and accept an offer. Close the sale. Okay, so that's very generic, good advice. Now, each one of these steps have multiple steps in them. So, just like let's give an example. Um, show your home. When you show your home, you're supposed to have it clean. You need to have time scheduled. You need to talk about what is going to be coming with the home. You're going to have to figure out different things that you might not necessarily consider dirty or look um, presentable. You have to figure out what those definitions are, and everybody has a different idea of this. But for the general census of when a realtor looks at hundreds of homes a year, they have a good idea of what buyers are looking for because they talk to their buyers. They understand the buyers' mindsets for the most part just because they interact with them all the time. So these are very generic and good information, but it's not great. Um, but yeah, it's a good start. Um, and it talks nothing about after the sale, which I think is really important or reason why you're selling. Okay, so that's buying and selling. Now let's say you got your let's go back to the buyer. I am the buyer in Los Angeles. Is there anything I should know about buying? Let's throw a curveball, an investment home. So when you buy an investment home in Los Angeles, there's a lot to consider. There's a lot of rules when you have tenants in a property. There's also reports that are specific to certain areas of Los Angeles, like there's something called the 9A report. Whenever you sell a home, that needs to be done. There's also you still have to do your inspections and everything. Uh, and when you're buying an investment home, the way that homes are typically priced are different than when you're buying a single family home that's not an investment property. So these are all things that you need to consider because um, you have to find out if this uh, home is going to be worth your time and money and investment. So there's a lot of different calculations we could do to run and find out if the property you're looking at is right, and how much down payment you should put. That's something that we could talk with a lender. So this is the route that I would go with my clients. I really have no idea how Chat GPT is going to answer this. So yeah, let's take a look. Research the market. Okay. That again, I would, yeah, you determine your budget. It's very hard to determine your budget just because investment properties, the loan, if you're taking a loan out, it's going to vary significantly depending on various factors. Choose the right location. Okay, choose the right location. Key location, look for properties desirable neighborhoods. Yeah. Calculate potential rental income. Yes, you definitely need to calculate the potential rental income. Um, get an inspection. Absolutely. Work with a real estate agent. Yes. Again, I don't know why they put work with a real estate agent number 6. I guess the orders is not the main thing that ChatGPT focuses on, but I would say that should be something that they should focus on. Have a long-term investment plan. It's important to have a long-term investment plan in place before. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely need to have that long-term investment plan. And typically, when you start talking to the lender, the lender would give you some advice as far as what to expect, not only today, not only once your offer is accepted, but when you should either break even or when you start becoming profitable, and then what to expect, down the line. A realtor could guide you in looking at charts and finding out in certain areas of, you know, based on historical figures, what the prices have been and what the trend is going to be. And then you could make your, you could decide on if this is a home or an investment property for you based on that information. So yeah, this is good advice. I guess my thing with Chat GPT is the order it gives it to you is not great. Yeah, there are some missing pieces, but yeah, I know it's just generic. So let's think of something else. Okay, this is going to be back to sellers. I just want to do one buyer, one seller, one buyer, one seller. And it's going to be, I am planning to sell, or let's say I'm a seller and an offer was accepted. The buyer is asking for $50,000 worth of credits. What should I do? Okay, so when you get into an offer and you're a seller, the buyer's going to inspect your property, and then you're going to say, hey, look, there's all these things wrong with the home. I want some money to fix it. That's kind of what I'm putting in this question. What I would go talk to my seller is essentially if this home was a home that needed a lot of work and they knew that it needed a lot of work before they made an offer, I would really go back and find out exactly what dollar to dollar what they're asking for, not just a solid figure $50,000, and then go to my client, tell them, hey, look, this is what they're asking for, this is why they're asking for it, and then we'll start negotiating that way. Now, let's just say this home is in good condition, but they found issues with it. And then I would find out what those issues are, how much it costs to fix those issues, and if they're either health or safety, then I would suggest my client to consider paying for those. But if they're just because they don't like the color of the door, there's some paint chips that are on the exterior where it's not gonna affect any health complications, then I would consider my client to decline some of those costs. So let's see how they take it. Chat GPT. If a buyer's made an offer on a property and is now in request for 50,000, you have a few options. Consider the buyer's request. Yeah, you can consider it. Negotiate. So I spoke more about negotiating, but you could absolutely consider it and move forward. Reject the request. There's one other piece that let's see if it does it. So you could reject request. So there's number 4. Number 4 is missing. You could just say nothing. So when they ask for a request for repair, you, as the seller, you could just say nothing and let the time run out, and then the buyer has to either cancel the contract or continue moving forward. So that's the number 4, which they're missing. But yeah, it's going to be up to the sellers. Ultimately, decisions up to the seller. It's important to weigh the potential benefits and drawbacks of offering credit and inform a decision. So yeah, it's usually going to be a negotiation. That's what I find just about in every transaction. Most people don't just accept it just because usually when a buyer's agent, they'll ask for as much as they can and just expect not everything to go through. So that's just the way the negotiation process goes. So yeah, that was okay. So now let's do one last one. We're coming up to, yeah, let's do one last one. Let's go back to the buyers. And let me think of something that the buyer, I would think Chat GPT will have a difficult time with the buyer. Okay, so I am a buyer and I found multiple problems with the inspection. I am a buyer of the home in Los Angeles. And I found multiple problems with the inspection. What should I do? Okay, so if a client came up to me and told me there's multiple problems with this home, I will dig down deep and ask them and find out what these problems are. If it's something that we don't have the full extent of information, like let's say you do your general inspection, they check the chimney, they're not going to check everything of the chimney. They're not going to have a scope that goes up unless you pay for that. I would recommend, if there seems to be a problem with the chimney, to get a certified inspector for chimneys. Even if there's something with the plumbing where it seems that the water's not going down, they just got a general inspector, get a plumber, get an electrician, whatever it is, right? Get someone specific for that. And then make sure that we get a quote of how much it costs to repair those items. And then see if it's something that they would like to go forward with after all of that. And that's when, going back to the question I just asked before, where we could ask them for a request for repair based on things that typically is the things that we did not know before we made the offer that got accepted. So that's the mindset that I would go through, or the way I would break it down to my buyers. And this is going to be the last one. If your buyer is Los Angeles have multiple problems, inspection, review the inspection report. Absolutely. That's how you find out there's a problem. So discuss the issues with your real estate agent. Absolutely. This one's consider your options. This is actually probably the better one of the 4 questions I ask. Get a second opinion. Yes, absolutely. Get a second opinion is very important. Consult with a real estate attorney. Very good. I'm glad they brought that up, and I did not bring that up. So I give Chat GPT very, very credit on this one. Consult with attorney. They can help you understand the right legal options to provide guidance on how to proceed. That is a good option. Consult with a real estate attorney if you're considering to walk away from the deal. You can do that. Another way of walking away from the deal, if you don't get to that step, is if you still have your contingencies in place. There's one for the investigation of the property. Then you could get out of the contract. Usually, if you're going to get out, both agents on the parties, they would talk to each other and kind of let them know before they submit the cancellation of the contract. That way, we can verify that nothing's going to happen. Like both parties are going to accept it. And then if that's the case, then we'll send it out and then move forward and cancel. And then you get your initial deposit that you put in into the back to in your hands. So yeah, that's good advice. Very, very good advice. And yeah, consulting with a real estate attorney is a good idea. But sometimes that could be avoided just with talking agent to agent. Most times it can be avoided. Okay, so that's all I'm going to show you. I really thought this was cool. I thought Chat GPT did a great job. I don't know if I will consider Chat GPT for anybody just to buy a home solely using this. I do recommend using professionals, like using a realtor to buy a home. You're not going to have to pay anything 99% of the time because the seller's paying for it. And getting advice as soon as possible is going to be beneficial to you. You're going to spend less time, less stress. And same with talking with a lender. Lender gets paid at the end of the deal. If you're taking a loan out, you're going to have to talk to a lender anyways. And yeah, I think it's really cool to have a tool like this. As a professional, as a realtor, I still find issues with this, but I do think it's really good starting information. So that's all I have for today. I'll have more videos on if you like something like this, or I'm gonna make a video series on probate and videos for seniors buying or selling, or just in transition of what to do uh, with their finances for um, with their homes. So look for those videos that are coming out soon. Hope you have a good one. Take care. Bye.